Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankest from the friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is friggin' Dank, dude. I'm your host, Strider Wilson. Dude, what up? We got Aaron on the sticks. Dude, what up, Aaron?
What up?
Dude, just freaking kicking it, dude. Just chilling right now. Feeling good, dude. Feeling legit, dude. And you know what? I felt legit this past weekend, dude, because I went to freaking Chris Parr's bachelor party, dude. My freaking dog JT's little bro, dude. Freaking beast Chris, dude. Dank-ass party out in the desert, dude. And I promised him on the Going Deep pod that I would do shrooms. And we were hanging out, and he goes, dude, I need to cash that check. And we did. And I straight up did a little bit of shrooms, dude. And I got worried. Look, I gotta be honest, dude. I wasn't chill about it. I wasn't like, oh, yeah, good call, dude. Let's do this. I was like, good call, dude. Can you please give me a little bit? Because I really don't want to get off the rails. And he's like, I've never lost a soldier. Bet on me, Strider. Bet on me. And I trusted him. And I got to tell you, he guided me nicely, gave me a small amount. All it did was increase my buzz. I will tell you this. But, you know, were we being our best selves when we were on these shrooms? I don't know, because I got into a laughing fit where I couldn't stop laughing because we were, our dog Reggie, dude, who's been on the pod, we did the Legendary Apes ep. He pointed out that we were, one of our buddies wasn't partying hard enough, and, you know, we were joking around with him, like teasing him, like, oh, dude, he's not partying. He has information. And let's get it out of him. So he was drinking a water, and we're like, do you want this water? And we started pouring more water on him than he wanted to. And Reggie's like, we're waterboarding our friend. And I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And just continued to laugh for like 5 minutes, which felt nice. But I was laughing at something maybe dark. Obviously, we weren't really waterboarding, but still, we weren't being our best selves. But I'll tell you this, it was a dank time, dude. And our buddy was laughing about it afterwards. You guys, thanks, dudes. I'm staying hydrated out here in the desert heat. Appreciate that. And then he rallied a little bit later, so it was fine, you know. It was all, I guess, ironic, you know, don't you think? A little too ironic? Yeah, I really do think. Have you ever indulged in a psychedelics, Aaron?
No. I would, I think.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I got to tell you, if you need a Sherpa, dude, Chris Parr is legit, bro. He's a good sergeant, if you will. You know, because he has never lost a soldier. He's good. Did a small amount, was totally fine. I set it and forget it, you know, kind of how I handle my Roth IRA, sort of how I handle my shrooms, set it and forget it. And
how do these things taste?
So I was lucky. He was actually very nice to me because he gave me the chocolate bar. So it tasted pretty dank, like a little small chocolate bar. But then I did try a little cap and a little stem, and that tasted like eating dirt.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So
that might be the part that where I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. Like a nice IPA is pleasurable to me. I enjoy having it. I enjoy the taste, the bitterness. I like that. A nice little glass of wine. I enjoy that. I also know what I'm getting invested in. I had a little bit of fear going into this mild amount of shrooms that I did, but now that I've been down that road, it's cool. Am I rushing to go back? No, not rushing to go back. But you know, if the time is right, and I could say and this really lends itself to the ep that we're talking about today is about national parks. If I'm out in J-Tree and my Dank Fiancee wants to do some, or I'm out there with the boys, I think that'd be a nice time. I can get why people want to do it in nature. It just sort of takes you, maybe just, you know, mellows you out a little bit. You know, I don't think you want to do, and on the back of this chocolate bar it said God level stuff where like you see God. I'm like, no, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I would be nice to look at this waterfall and appreciate it a little bit extra maybe. Or this rock formation out in J-Tree. And this lends itself perfectly to today because we're talking, Aaron, we're doing a dank duel, dude. We've done dank offs. Mm-hmm. We've never done a dank duel. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna posit this question to you. Mm-hmm. We'll decide at the end of this episode, and listeners can decide for themselves. Dankatorians, dude, and coined a term coined by the dank chiller himself, JT motherfucking Parr. And we'll decide for ourselves what we think is the dankest national park. And I selected the two in my opinion, and there might be others I don't know about, so we can do that in future episodes. We're doing a dank duel between Yellowstone and Yosemite.
Whoa.
Yeah. Legit. I've been to one, so I might be biased, but also the mind is a powerful thing, and how I imagine Yellowstone to be is quite dank. But I did a little bit of research to take us on a little bit of a journey through each national park, and at the end of the episode, we will maybe be able to decide what is the dankest national park, Yellowstone or Yosemite. But before we do that, Aaron, I got to mention, dude, and I'm fired up to mention, dude, that this episode is brought to you by Talkspace, dude. If you're feeling overwhelmed lately, you're not alone. Start feeling better with a single message. Talkspace Online Therapy matches you with a licensed therapist from the comfort of your device, dude. It's nice. So if they have an app and everything, and if you're traveling, I mean, you can do it from the comfort of your own home, get matched up with someone who's right for you. If it doesn't work the first time around, Talkspace is expert and really prides themselves on finding you the therapist, the licensed professional that you're going to really vibe with. And you can also use the app on your phone. So if you're traveling, you can be there. You don't have to wait for your appointment. So listeners get $100 off your first month with code DANK at Talkspace.com. That's you get you get $100 off your first order with code DANK at Talkspace.com. In this podcast is also brought to you by American Giant, dude. I'm posted up in my tee right now, dudes. Slub cotton, very dank, durable, dude. When I'm wearing this thing, dude, I just want to fix an engine in front of my future father-in-law, dude, and just look at him and go, what up, dude? American Giant has local freaking cotton, dude, grown right here in the US of A, made right here in the US of A. In fact, in LA, dude. So what up? Extra freaking local for me, dude. Just fired up on that, but it's local for all of us, dude. So super sick, dude. You've heard of their hoodie. They got the classic full zip, greatest hoodie ever made. But dude, honestly, right now, I'm rocking the tee. It's got the pocket tee. I can put my shades in there if I need to, dude. I just love this. Honestly, I love the materials. I love the fabric, dude. It feels legit. It's got a great impact, dude. Think about this, dude. Farm to table for the dank food that you eat. That's a legit experience. This is sort of farm to table, but for your shirt. That's freaking sick, dude. So treat yourself, dude. Go to American-Giant.com and use promo code DANK for 20% off your order. That's American-Giant.com and use promo code DANK for 20% off, dude. Treat yourself, dude. All right, dude. I figure we start with Yellowstone. Aaron.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking right now, dude.
I was going to say, are these the two farthest in the alphabet? But no, Zion is.
Yeah. That's
probably
a good in Utah, which I have been to Zion.
Yeah.
Out there towards St. George, Utah. And Zion is also the last human city in the Matrix. So, and they have sick raves there where dudes have epic vert.
They do.
Yeah, the vert on all the dudes in Zion is off through the roof.
Have you seen the Matrix 4 trailer, by the way? It just came out.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither, but I'm assuming there's got to be an epic rave in it.
There better be a rave. There is a rave in number 1. Remember Neo follows the White Rabbit?
Yeah.
And he sees Trinity. There's a rave. It's not a Matrix movie unless there's a rave.
It's an odd rave because they're playing Rob Zombie, but yeah.
That is true.
Dragula.
It's an interesting mashup right there. I guess tech dudes are into that. Rob Zombie and strobe lights.
It's the late 90s, man. It was all about industrial music.
So true. So freaking true, dude. It's some DJ went into a Detroit auto manufacturer, sampled some sounds and then threw a beat to it. It's all right, here we go. In fact, maybe that's good criteria. Which national park, if you're going to decide what the dankest is, and we have to label our criteria, and then I'll kind of do that as we go through. Maybe one of them is, where could you hold the dankest rave or flash mob?
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring out some Jennies, but also maybe you can use some natural power sources. In Yellowstone, your power source would probably be volcanic, dude, because at the heart of Yellowstone's past, present, and future lies volcanism, dude, which to me sounds like some sort of witchcraft your preteen daughter would be into, but it's not. It's actually catastrophic volcanic eruptions that occurred there, and they've occurred sort of about 2 million years ago, then 1.2 million years ago, and then 600,000 years ago. So, Aaron, kind of scary. I mean, we could be due at that clip. If you're going at that rate, we could be due.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty terrifying.
That's pretty scary, but it's also pretty edgy, and it's pretty dank.
Yeah.
Because I like edgy shit.
Sure. There's a certain amount of suspense we're all in right now.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, sure. I wear khakis, yeah, but I like edgy, sexual, volcanic shit. It's what I'm into. It's what I like. I like, this is the thing right now. I'm going to open up to you. I like to put myself in a plaster mold. You would have discovered one of the frozen in time, unfortunate souls from the Pompeii eruption and bone in a plaster mold. My fiance and I like to bone our way out of plaster molds. That's what I'm into. So that's high up for me as far as Yellowstone is concerned.
Speaking of volcanic death, though, real quick.
Yes.
My geology professor in college said he had a buddy who he went to school with who was in the observation center across from Mount St. Helens when it blew up in 1980.
Whoa, dude, that's gnarly.
And it blew, it had a mountain top and everything, and it blew kind of sideways right at him.
Jeez.
He said he probably had 30 seconds and fully aware, I'm going to die.
Dude, that's insane.
It's nuts.
How did he get out of there?
He didn't. This is a buddy of his from college. He did not make it.
Wow.
Yeah. There's
insane.
no getting out of that. I mean, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time I may have told this story before, but we were in Hawaii and like you visited some of like volcanic stuff. It's the island formation, volcanoes make land, dude. Mm-hmm. And freaking, we were like touring one of the volcanoes, and then they had like a little tiki Hawaiian god. And then I took one, and we were on the tour bus with my brother, and I told my brother, I was like, dude, we got to pray to this shit. It's going to help us out. And it was hilarious, dude. And then I prayed to it. And you know what? Life's going pretty well, dude. I still have that tiki guy somewhere. I had a locker in my bedroom growing up, and he was in the locker, and then we moved, and I haven't found him. But maybe he knows where I'm at, Anyway, dude, the latest eruption spewed about like nearly 240 cubic miles, dude, of debris, dude. All right. The park's central location collapsed, dude, forming a 28 by 47 mile caldera or basin. There's a great word for you, caldera. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you do finance, be like, look, right now we're in a bit of a caldera. People call that like a trough or something like that. And it'll be a bit of a caldera, and then your manager will be like, what? And you'll be like, look it up, bitch. And then keep moving on. Those eruptions still power the famous geysers, Old Faithful, springs, fumaroles, and mud pots. I'll get into what all these things are in a little bit. The canyon of the Yellowstone River provides a glimpse of Earth's interior, so you can kind of get an idea of what Earth looks like on the inside, dude, which is, if you're twisted, dude, I want to see what you look like on the inside, Earth. Yeah. So you can go there and do it.
A little peek under the skirt.
Exactly. Friggin' pervs, dude. Friggin' geological pervs, dude. However, maybe it's more of a spiritual thing. It's not a sexual thing. That's maybe me sexualizing it, because the rugged mountains and flanks that flank the park's volcanic plateau are both rewarding to the eye and spirit. So that's dank. We, of course, it's kind of comical. Like, you think of Yellowstone, and it's been around for like obviously forever, since the dawn of time, and it's changed and taken shape with all these eruptions. But there's evidence of freaking humans being there for 11,000 years. So tribes and bands use the parks as their home, hunting grounds, and transportation routes prior to and after the European arrival, of course. We're going back 11,000 years, dude. But 3,000 years ago, like the Archaic period to 1,500 years ago, was probably when it was most heavily used. In the 19th century, it'd be used by tribes such as the Crow, Blackfeet, Flathead, Shoshone, Nez Perce, I'm probably saying that wrong, and Bannock. A member of the Crow Nation says the park is a slap in the face to the native people, he says, because there's almost no mention of the dispossession and violence that happened. They've basically been erased from the park. I mean, obviously, they sort of touch upon this in the movie Dances with Wolves, in like the Dakotas, like the Black Mountains. It's like they thought there'd be mineral deposits there, so they wanted to move the native population from there. Obviously, there's fights that ensue and tragedy, and this gets lost, and the victors write the stories, right? So, but nowadays, more of these are coming out, which is good, because it's good to know the truth, dude. Obsidian deposits were like very, very valuable. There's a Norris Geyser Basin and Mammoth Hot Springs is a massive outcrop of dark volcanic rock known as Obsidian Cliff, dude. It's closed to the public, but you can probably scope it out from a distance with a good set of binocs, dude. And this is like the volcanic glass that if you've seen Game of Thrones kills, they call it Dragonstone.
Mhm.
This is what kills dragons and stuff and White Walkers.
It's also you'll find it under a tree next to a wall made of rock that has no business in a Maine hayfield.
That's absolutely right.
Shawshank. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. How did that get there?
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't get there easily. It had to get there carefully because it yields the sharpest edge of any natural substance on Earth. It's 10 times sharper than a razor blade. Native American used it for knives, hide scraping tools, projectile points and spears, atlatl darts. Atlatls, like those things that kind of like, if you've ever seen the sport highlight being played, sort of like that. Basically it adds more physics, like more lanky leverage to your throw. So you can like throw a projectile way faster just because the physics of it.
Wow.
Pretty badass. And then the invention of the bow and arrow, which only dates back to about 1,500 years ago, used as arrowheads. Real quick, dude, you got geysers. You know, that's basically, you know, sort of if you could think of Yellowstone busting a nut, that's what a geyser is. It's a huge eruption, dude. Super heated. Water below just boiling to the surface, and then finally, Yellowstone erupts.
But it's also pretty routine, like.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like, that's pretty nice. Routine.
Yeah,
it's routine bust.
Routine busting is high up, and that's one of our criteria for a dank. On our Dank Duel here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as for our dankness scale, routine busting is really legit. There's hot springs, that's tight. That's a jacuzzi in nature.
Yep.
So that's fucking sick. That's really high up there. Jacuzzis are good for hooking up, deep conversations with your boys, chilling, shrooming if you're shrooming. Mud pots, a little bit different. Maybe a negative, it's a thermal area where water is saturated. There's superheated steam below clay. So rising steam forces its way upwards through the mud and groundwater, bursting upwards, sending showers of mud into the air as if a small explosion. So if a geyser is like busting, this would sort of be like, you know, sharding, you know, after some bad seafood. So maybe that's a negative. Then you've got steam vents, same thing, just steam coming out of cracks in the surface. There's also this phenomenon known as the ghost appearing. There's many accounts of ghosts appearing in mist in Yellowstone.
Huh.
And then, you know, science breaks it down and says these ghostly formations appear in the park when the weather turns cold, but they are actually caused when hydrothermal steam covers adjacent trees. Water droplets from the steam freeze, encasing the trees in a ghostly coat of what is known as rime ice, R-I-M-E. Look for ghost trees in the dead of Yellowstone's winter and where temperatures can plummet to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That's gnarly, dude.
Wow.
There's lake music over Yellowstone Lake. There's been weird occurrences that now have a scientific explanation. The phenomenon known as lake music remains a mystery. It's a little bit shoddy, which is scary, dude. Explorers and tourists have reported a strange buzzing sound that moves across the Yellowstone Lake. Visitors who camp in the lake area still report hearing the sound today, and despite numerous scientific studies, no one has yet been able to explain what causes the unusual noise. Maybe it's just dudes shrooming so hard out there. They're just buzzing so hard.
Could be.
That they're looking at the lake and it's just, and they're just sitting there. They don't realize they're making the noise. Like, whoa, dude. They're probably just going, whoa, dude, like that. And that's what they're hearing from across the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps
I wonder if something's vibrating, like the ground is shaking slightly.
I mean, yeah.
Making something vibrate.
You got mud pots, geysers, you got steam vents, dude. You got all this burbling. You got have an active volcano under the land. Like, I mean, there's gonna be some noise going. Stuff's moving down there, dude.
Yeah,
you know,
some trees rubbing together.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Yeah, wind stuff. You got trees rustling, and I'm sure there's like echoes going on in that canyon or whatever the lake is, and the rock formations is bouncing off shit, dude. I mean, dude, if I was gonna be a scientist, I'd be like, dude, it's got to be some wind making noises, bouncing off shit. You know, that'd be my hypothesis.
Or cicadas.
Yeah, could be cicadas too in that time of year. And I imagine too many people aren't camping during the winter, so I bet that buzz isn't even happening during the winter, dude, when it's negative 30 Fahrenheit. It's cold as hell, dude. All right, dude, then there's this thing called the zone of death.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, in Yellowstone. Now, this is gnarly. This isn't like, a tourist taking... Do you know, like that, like 8 to 10 tourists die from bison hitting them because they get too close to them to take selfies every year?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Also, moose. I would love to see a moose. And you know what I'd love to see more than a moose? A moose's erect penis.
Whoa.
That'd be gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
I want to see what that's like.
I've seen a zebra's.
Is it big?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as big as Joe.
It's got a head like a flower. It's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
I was at the circus and I saw an elephant take a leak. I was like, I don't even care about this tame lion. Dude, look at that elephant take a leak. It's insane. That amount of fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I love scale, dude. It's gnarly. So this zone of death, real quick, have you heard of any notable deaths in Yellowstone, Aaron?
I feel like it was maybe 5 years ago. There was like 2 young, maybe 17 or 19-year-old, like a couple that were going over some. They were looking at some like. It's not a geyser because it's just like it's really like crazily colored, like yellowish, whatever. And
Could be one of those mud pots, like that clay and mud. There's interesting elements in there, like amino acids.
Fell in it and it melted.
They melted in it. It was that hot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some secluded areas in Yellowstone, and that's kind of what ties into our zone of death. So basically, this is a legal loophole where it's legal to commit murder here. So,
whoa.
Yeah. So you go to imagine there's 2 bros that cruise out to Yellowstone going on a hike, dude. Maybe they're trying to squash some beef. They got a crush on the same girl or something, dude. Jackie, because she kicks it at wakeboarding or something. And, Dylan and Blathen are out there and they're vacationing in Yellowstone. They're going to just be like, dude, let's go hike. Let's go listen to this buzz noise. Let's trim it up. Let's chill. And then say Blathen, they said these guys get in a fight and Blathen ends up, murdering Dylan, right? But Blathen, being a smart dude and probably a lawyer working for his dad's friend's company, would go, oh, I don't even need to bury the body and cover up the crime because, and he, in fact, will freely admit to it and surrender himself to authorities. And at his trial, he'll just be smart and he'll invoke the right under the 6th Amendment to a jury composed of people from the state where the murder was committed, Idaho. So Blathen must, they must be chilling in this certain zone, about 50 square miles in Idaho, on the Idaho part of Yellowstone, and request a jury from that district and from the federal district where it was committed, right, in Idaho. But here's the thing. The District of Wyoming has purview over all of Yellowstone, even the parts in Montana or Idaho. So Blathen has a right to a jury composed entirely of people living in both Idaho and the District of Wyoming. That is people living in the Idaho part of Yellowstone. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky. So it's just because this tricky little federal law. Thing is, no one lives in the Idaho part of Yellowstone. It's inhabitable, bro. It drops to like negative 30. There's geysers and stuff. You cannot live there unless you're a freaking straight up wolf, dude. So a jury cannot be formed. Therefore, Daniel will therefore our freaking boy Blathen will walk scot-free, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Maybe there's a dude named Daniel out there dead too. I don't know.
I mean, couldn't you do that in any state?
No, because the thing is no one lives in that part of it. And because it's this national park and Wyoming has purview over it, or even in the Idaho part, he's able to invoke this 6th Amendment to ask for people composed of that jury. And there's no place as remote as that.
Yeah.
That has purview from a separate state. So those are the things, like it's like a separate state, and it has to be a federal, and the crime is committed on federal grounds. So it's a federal trial, not state. That's how he gets out of the Idaho, and that's how he gets out of the federal and just walks scot-free. Obviously, it's a loophole. Obviously, he would be put under trial that wouldn't exist, but all the legal maneuverings are tight in our sound.
I feel like you just, as a federal government, you're like, all right, well, we're not going to charge you. The state's going to charge you.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
That's
like that,
all that
like
you would do. You would
the
just
state of Idaho or something.
Yes, they would just go, we're not going to press a federal charge. We're just going to do a state one, and then he would get convicted. But, you could think of some purge shit out there,
Sure.
If you were purging out there in Yellowstone, what crime would you want to commit, Aaron?
I'm a property destroyer.
Okay, nice.
I'm not a murderer.
I'm sort of a heister. I'd like to heist. Maybe
Yeah, that's true, you do.
maybe heist a salmon from a bear or something.
Well, it's tough.
You could go and destroy like a I could guess you could. People do tag nature. It's insane.
Yeah.
I guess you could tag like, I don't know, a wolf's den, or like some old moose antlers.
More like there's some sort of Unabomber type guy out there. I'm just gonna fuck his shack up.
Oh yeah. You're gonna find some dude, like some strange mountain man, backwards thinking man out there, and just go ahead and just turn his shame shack into a freaking lame shack, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I mean, dude, that's about it on Yellowstone. It was the first ever national park, and only because national parks weren't even formed at this time, but the only reason it was made a national park and not a state park was because it lies, like we just said, in the zone of death on 3 different states: Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. Yeah. So they go, what state's going to get it? I guess Wyoming has the purview over it, but that's why it's a national park. Yeah. And it was made one in 1872, dude.
Wow.
So that's pretty freaking sick, dude, about Yellowstone right there, dude.
Yeah, it's a big task here, Yosemite.
I know.
Got to bring it.
Yosemite's got to step it up, dude. But before we get to Yosemite, dude, I want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you, and this episode of this podcast is brought to you by Talkspace, dude. Like I mentioned, the world is racing to get back to normal and start meeting up in person again. But after the year we've all had, getting back to feeling normal takes time, dude. Talkspace matches you up with the person and a trained professional and trained therapist that is right for you. On this podcast, I like to give advice to bros and, sort of be the elder bro at my valet. But I have to tell you, someone who's trained in this and is giving you unbiased feedback and advice from a licensed professional and their perspective and training can be refreshing and actually rewarding and very, very helpful. So when you're in a low point, you might feel alone. And over 50% of Americans struggle with their mental health. So you're not alone out there. Talkspace will match you up with the right person. And we all need a little bit of help sometimes. And asking for support when you need it is actually a sign of strength. And I do truly believe that, I think that's that first step. And the first step in anything you do is always the hardest. And it's a first step towards feeling better. And, these therapists at Talkspace give you tools to develop coping mechanisms in difficult times. They work around your schedule and at your convenience, which is great on the app from the comfort of your own home. You can get an appointment way, way easier than if you got to set it a few weeks and drive there. This is from the comfort of your device. And they have Talkspace therapists are experts in dozens of specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more. So get help and start feeling better with a single message. So match with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com and get $100 off your first month with promo code DANK. That's 100% off when you use code DANK at Talkspace.com. And this episode is also brought to you by American Giant. Dude, I am posted up in their shirt right now, bro. It feels dank, dude. It's locally sourced cotton, dude. Slub cotton, dude. When you feel it, it just feels like that nice weight when you put it on. You know what I mean, dude? It's like, it just, it's on, then it molds to your bod, dude. I'm feeling jacked when I'm wearing it, dude. This product's, dude, it's the best stuff. You've heard of their hoodie, dude, but I'm talking about the shirt right now, dude. In American Giant, dude, it's an endless pursuit of quality, dude. They don't just give you a better product, dude. It ripples outward, creating opportunity, connecting communities, and leaving things better than they were before. How do they do that? They source stuff locally, dude. When you do stuff, think about when you go get to bite to eat, dude. You're traveling. You're not going to go to the chain restaurant you can get anywhere. You go to the place that you haven't been before. You try the experience. You meet the people, dude. That's the stuff. That's what the American Giant's all about, dude. It's about stuff made by the people, dude. We're putting it on, dude. Locally grown, dude. Locally sourced, dude. Right here in LA, dude. It's high quality, dude. It's all about the design. It's a feel better fabric, dude. It's obviously durable, dude. In every freaking part that you wear it, dude. And I'm just fired up, dude. I'm posting up in it all the time. I got the hoodie, I got the pocket tee, I got a long sleeve tee, dude. I'm just stoked on that, dude. Sometimes I roll up the sleeves and just get to work in that thing, dude. So fired up on these things, dude. So treat yourself, dude. Explore American Giant's collection of durable essentials at american-giant.com, and you get 20% off when you use code DANK at checkout. That's 20% off at american-giant.com and use promo code DANK, dude. Treat yourself, dude. All right, dude. Yosemite. So Yosemite actually became a park before Yellowstone, but as a state park, dude. Right? Because it all is located in California. Then, 26 years later, in 1890, Congress made Yosemite one of the 3 additional national parks, along with Sequoia and General Giant, right? Now part of Kings Canyon, dude, just in case you're wondering over, and Mount Rainier followed after that in 1899, dude. Just letting you guys know, dude. But, so we're comparing 2 national parks here, dude. Yellowstone, unlike, so we talked about volcanism, which is, if you're a dad out there and your daughter brings that up, don't get too worried yet, dude. She's not going to put a curse on you, dude.
She might just be in a Star Trek.
Yeah, dude, exactly. She also might want you to live long and prosper, dude. Yosemite's history is heavily rooted in freaking hydrology, dude. Which is a sick-ass way of saying water stuff. Mm-hmm. So basically waterfalls and glacier. It's developed by glaciers, dude. Those like dank-ass rock formations, dude. The Dawn Wall, El Capitan, Half Dome, dude. These are formed over, hundreds of thousands of years of glaciers moving slowly, dude. Creating these legit-ass rock formations that you get absolutely fired up when you look at and fired up to go climb. The hydrology has... Yosemite has tons of waterfalls, dude. Particularly the 2,425 foot Yosemite Falls, dude. So if we're getting back to, if Yellowstone is busting nuts geyser style, Yosemite is sort of busting nuts old school drip style. That's disgusting, dude.
She's a gusher.
Yeah, exactly right. That's how it goes. And the waterfalls, like the glaciers before them, they also help shape the landscape in a myriad of ways, dude. So, water over time is going to erode rock and stuff like that and make stuff look sick. Just a quick personal story. I've never been to Yosemite. So the fact that my mind is imagining it, how dank it is, and I'd like to cruise out there on a road trip with my Dank Fiancee, it's high up there on the dank scale for me. But I have been to Yosemite, and I have hiked Half Dome when I was at summer camp. I went to YSSC. That was the surprise Christian summer camp that I told you guys about, where I was crushing an ice cream taco, and then my counselor, Legolas, was like, yo, Charlie, let's talk about God. I was like, what? All right. For a second, but then do you want to talk about how sick ice cream tacos are after that? He's like, no, dude. Let's post up in the cargo net and let's just talk about spirituality. I was like, okay. That's when I learned the phrase, there's no free lunch. There's no free ice cream taco, dude. So, but Half Dome I hiked, and it's the ultimate Yosemite day hike. It's not for the weary. This is an advanced hike, dude. It's got 900 feet worth of spectacular waterfalls at the bottom. Dude, there's a mist trail, so it can be slippery and wet. You can only climb it certain time of the year. It's definitely not in winter. They actually give you cables to use it. If you climb it without cables, good luck. You obviously can scale the face, which is flat, sheer rock, but you got to be a pro to do that. I did obviously the dome part of it, dude. Hand cabling it up there with a pack on my back, feeling pretty badass, dude. It's about 14.2 miles round trip. If you use the mist trail, which I use. There's also a John Muir trail, which is longer, but wet mist. There's a 20-mile route, 23-mile route. So we went up there and camped at like the base down by a dank little lake and then cruised up. Elevation's 8,846 feet, dude. You go about 4,800 feet. That's what you're hiking up. So it's legit. It's about a 10-hour to 14-hour turnaround. So you can do it in a day, but you're beasting it.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's no joke, dude. It is the ultimate day hike. It's scary. Before it, I did, I was feeling a little bit introspective, and like I mentioned, I did it at this summer camp I was at, and my older brother Andrew's buddy, Kevin Hardy, was there, and we were looking at the stars. The nighttime star visibility is beautiful. So once again, shrooming scale, it's up there if you're doing that. But I was a kid at the time, and I was just, living off life, which is good enough too. And I looked at Kevin, and I, dead serious, went, "Hey Kevin, you think there's something out there?" And dude, he just started dying laughing, and I was like, "What, dude?" He's like, "Dude, no, don't worry about it, bro. It's just hilarious that you asked me that. You're like this kid." And he's like, "Yeah, man, it probably is, man. It probably is, but I don't know." And then he went back to like probably flirting with a girl, dude. I actually got in trouble from my bro Andrew on that trip, because afterwards, you write letters to your friends and stuff. It's kind of fun. You become pen pals. And there was this cute older girl named Lauren who I had good rapport with. I don't want to be braggy, but I did. And I kind of became boys with her younger brother. And, Lauren was older than me. It was never going to be a romantic thing. It was almost like, crushing her babysitter type deal. But she wrote a letter, and she's like, "Strider, you were so chill. Make sure you're not doing anything filthy or dirty." And because I kept saying filthy and dirty, like when people, she said, "Make sure you are doing filthy, dirty stuff." But those are words that I stole from my brother, because he would describe skate moves as filthy and dirty. And there was a half pipe, and I was really leaning into that vernacular and that slang.
Sure.
And it sort of gave me a personality at camp, where I was the kid who was spreading that sick ass terminology around. And then my brother read my mail, because he was a punk, and he shouldn't have done. So I tried to call him out on that. I'm like, he goes, "Dude, what are you doing using my words?" He said that, dude. He goes, "Bro, don't use my words." And I was like, "Dude, don't read my mail." He's like, "Well, go call, but don't use my words." I was like, "All right, sorry." He was mad that I was stealing his essence.
Jeez.
I get that now. It's interesting.
It's just a little Cyrano de Bergerac sort of situation.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, dude. It's a great ass call. Comedians have that, It's an issue. You can't steal someone's stage energy or presence or essence, It's tough. Where does artistic license begin and end, Probably when you step on stage, take a mic, and call something your own. So the history of Yellowstone, we touch on the people, of course, and we mentioned this, Yosemite is similar to Yellowstone, but probably a little bit more documented because of the gold rush in 1849. There was a lot of just atrocities taking place with the local tribes, mainly the Awahanachi people. There was the Mariposa Indian Wars, what they called it, came to a close in Yosemite and was open to settlement and speculation. So basically it was American soldiers going in there and kicking people off their lands, which is not chill. So that definitely lowers the dankness scale.
Yeah.
But it also happened in Yellowstone. So,
yeah.
But it's just more documented here because there was a resource that they really wanted, gold. And they say what's more valuable than human life? Well, sadly enough, the dollar. It's an age-old story. So, and it's crazy, so after that war, and it's to sort of try to police 49ers and, these miners coming out and settling on people's land, stealing, they'd steal crops or whatever from native people that were growing stuff there in their homes forever. We even covered Ishi, and he was hiding from miners and, settled there. He was being hunted by soldiers. The use of, and we've all heard this would probably be familiar with the Bob Marley song Buffalo Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo soldiers were actually used in Yosemite. I didn't know that. I always just imagined them out in the Great Plains, and that's where they got their name, which actually seems to be somewhat derogatory from the Cheyenne tribe and warriors would say, they would wear coats that would resemble that of a buffalo. And so they would say, "Oh, these are the Buffalo Soldiers," what they would refer to them as. But they were African-American soldiers deployed in the most rigorous, dangerous part of the country out west, right? And so they would try to police the native and the 49ers, and they weren't respected because racism was obviously rampant at that time. Sure, they had a uniform, but did anyone really respect it? No, they had to tread a line of being super respectable to any racist white dude who's settling, but also be look, I have the authority. I do have authority here. So basically not being set up for success, but they patrolled the Yosemite Sequoia area, and in a strong and diplomatic fashion, according to this account that I read. So I had no idea that they were out there, so I thought that was quite interesting. But back to the natural elements of Yosemite, dude. I mentioned it's a glaciated landscape, right? So formed from glaciers. Granite is heavily there, so that's also a valuable resource. It was used actually at one time. There was like an old naval, a hotel there. I forget what it's called, but then it was bought up by the Navy to be used as a hospital for soldiers coming back from World War II, and they thought that the landscape would be really peaceful for the soldiers when they came back and had like PTSD and recovering from their wounds, but it had the opposite effect because like all the sheer rock face and granite cliffs were like very daunting to them and made them feel very, very trapped. So like if guys would recover, they would send them, they would still use that hotel as a hospital, but it was not used as like a peaceful recovery zone, which is pretty interesting and gnarly. Let's see. It's got big ass trees, dude. Some of the biggest redwoods you've ever seen, dude, are cruising out up there. Unbelievable hiking. It's got a dank ass lake called Bass Lake where I did banana boating personally myself. Let's see. I mean, basically, that's about, I'm seeing if I'm missing anything. On Yosemite. So, I mean, if we're doing a dank duel, it comes down to a lot of factors. What type of busting do you like? Do you like geyser style or waterfall style? Do you prefer glaciers or volcanoes? Both parks sort of had a sordid past, which is not dank, so two big negatives, but really that we can't hold that against the parks themselves, that's the people. So I would say, I think definitely consider where you'd like to throw a rave, what you think would be the most legit, maybe on top of Half Dome, maybe next to a hot spring, maybe in the Ghost Mist or in the Dead Zone, and you could purge it up and get real weird. Aaron, I mean, what are you thinking, dude? What's your call here, dude? Are you a Yellowstone guy or a Yosemite guy at the end of this ep, dude?
I mean, I hate to go against California because I'm all about it.
I love you saying that.
But
I love your honesty.
I mean, Yellowstone is just so massive.
Have you been?
No.
I want to go.
I haven't been to either one, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the massiveness of it, the just sheer mounting possibility of death.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's kind of got it all.
I didn't touch too much on the wildlife. I probably should have done that a little more. I mean, they're pretty similar, but I think in Yellowstone you get some more like bison and moose and shit.
Yeah.
In Yosemite you get grizzlies and wolves and shit, cougars. Maybe some cougars hiking around, some divorcees. Maurice's going to go out there and get mauled.
Get them.
I think I got to go. I share your sentiment. I think I got to go Yellowstone. Just seems to be the Michael Jordan of national parks.
Yeah.
It was the first, even though it was a technicality, but it just seems so dank.
There's no family drama starring Kevin Costner called Yosemite.
Thank you. Yeah, Yosemite's not on Paramount Network, is it? No, it's not. I don't know what else is on that network, but Yellowstone is.
Yogi the Bear didn't hang out at Yosemite.
Mm-hmm.
No, Jellystone.
Thank you. I didn't get surprised by a Christian camp in Yellowstone, did I? No. Might they have that out there? Sure.
Probably.
Yeah, they probably do. Sick, dude. All right, so we're going Yellowstone. I'm fired up. Let's answer a few questions, then bone on out of here, dude.
Let's do it.
All right, dude. Hey, Strider, I could use advice as a master of bros. I have a new job and the people seem cool but are a little cliquey. Any advice on breaking into these friend groups and possibly even accelerate my ascent to top dog of the team? For example, one time JT mentioned pissing your pants to assert dominance. Do you think this would work? Thanks, your boy. I like the idea of pissing your pants. It's making a statement. It's letting people know I don't care that I've got piss on my khakis. It's a good move. For me, for my money, I'm thinking, you go there, I think you get more bees with honey, right?
Yeah.
I think you go in and you bring some dank ass. I think you start wearing a sick ass Hawaiian shirt, even when it's every single Friday you do it. And then you go, this guy really believe in Hawaiian Shirt Friday? And you go, guys, I'm messing around. But honestly, there's a sick ass tiki bar I know about. We should all go. Any takers? And if there's no takers, you go, all right, cool, no worries. And you just keep doing it. And guess what, dude? Perseverance is going to get you the dub. So I think you dive into that Hawaiian shirt mentality. And, you know, even if it's something as simple as bringing a box of donuts, dude. And then if people are like, oh, I'm on diets or whatever, guess what, dude? No one ever hated anyone who brought donuts to the office.
It's true.
Okay? Cruising on some donuts on a Monday morning, it's going to be legit, dude. Just be going with those vibes, you know. I'm all about those treats, dude. And it's an anti-schmoll technique, dude. It's sharing. It's all good. Then you joke around and you put the donuts down and you go, there were 2 bear claws in there, but now that bear's limping because one's in my tummy, dude. So people might appreciate that joke. And if they don't, then, you know, then they're being schmolls and it's not your group. And you're just putting forth good vibes. You know what I mean? They don't need to be your forever friends. They might be. But I think it's just about setting yourself up for bringing in good vibes. What do you think, Aaron?
I mean, I definitely like the idea of suggesting places to go, to hang, to drink, to whatever. I also think, like, if there's a rec league, I'm always like, join a rec league, something.
Good ass call.
As an adult. But get a sponsored team from this company.
Yeah, head it up.
And either you run it or at least dominate it. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Pick a sport you know you're great at. Get your coworkers to play with you. They'll see how much of a baller you are. You're in charge in no time.
Aaron, that's an absolutely fire call. It's gonna work. I mean, I think that's your best chance. And if that doesn't work, then what you do is you order yourself a large shipment like FedEx of like maybe 7,000 paintballs and have them delivered straight to your desk. And everyone will look at that going, what the hell did he just order? And then you open up a ton of paintballs. And then people can't help but ask you about it. And then you talk about how dominant you are on the speedball course. You know, you share some war stories of being out there. Yeah, dude, I got plucked on the inner fly. Really hurt, but I took out 2 guys going down. We were playing capture the flag. You want to come out and paintball? Oh, no, you don't paintball? That's cool. What do you do? Oh, yeah, sure. Maybe I'll join you for that. And then you're off to the races. When in doubt, order 7,000 paintballs. Dear Strider, this is my friends and I's second year doing fantasy football. This is our first year putting money down also. Since there is more on the line, we also want a last place punishment, but me and my friends really can't think of one. Knowing that you are king of fantasy, we would like your advice. Sincerely, Sam. P.S. How's your draft team looking, dude? Sam, I'm fired up on a fantasy question, dude. I won my first week, dude. Looking pretty good. Went heavy with a 3 RB approach. It's a 14-team league, so, you know, waiver wires, you know, bone dry. Treated myself to a nice quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I want to enjoy myself watching his games. I kept Jonathan Taylor, who I'm hoping for a big year. Got Mixon, Kupp, and Landry are, you know, not top tier receivers, but they got high floors, and, you know, their ceilings are legit. I got Swift as my flex position, and I'll take that all day long. Rocking Johnny Smith, took a flyer on him, hoping he pans out. And then kicker and defense, I don't care about. So I'm fired up on it. Dude, I think for your last place punishment, I've heard of, you know, epic stuff of getting tattoos the size of a palm. I'm all for just like, you know, someone treating to a meal. I'm all for having to, you know, do an NFL combine and time him and or her, whoever gets last, and just, you know, get everyone out there on the field, get active, and it'd be fun. I think everyone should do a combine. And just make sure that this person goes out there and trains for it and say, like, hey, you have to beat Tom Brady's. I always think that's a really fun one. It's active, it's fun, it's positive. What do you think, Aaron? What do you think is a good last place punishment?
Nothing permanent. I don't think a tattoo is necessary, especially as a second year. Like, if this is a league they've had for 15 years, I'd say, yeah, maybe something like that. But
yeah, so some guy doesn't even know anyone has to get a tattoo on his forehead.
Yeah. I don't know. Last 2 dudes got a kiss.
Yeah, it's nice. It's benevolent. It's loving. It'll bring them closer. Maybe they'll after they kiss, they'll have a good conversation of how they could do better the next season. Yep. Yeah, I love it. All right, dude. Here's one more. Strider and Aaron, what up? I'm afraid to go paintballing. Whoa. I don't know why. It's not that it will hurt. I love pain. I have a cock piercing.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, dude. Legit. I guess I'm afraid of being bad. Is that weird? I'm usually good at stuff and I don't want to fail. Any advice, Christian? Starting something's always the most fearful aspect, and you can't be afraid of failure, dude. You have to embrace it, dude. It's embrace it, put it out of your mind, revel in it. Go out there and say, look, I might get absolutely lit up on the paintball course, and you'll learn from that mistake. You're going to have failure before success in life. You know, how many of us are amazingly good at something the first time we do it? Not many. So, and maybe you will be great at it, you know, and it sounds like you're a confident guy and you believe in yourself and things that you know you're good at. I think you're stepping outside your comfort zone. Go for it, dude. And you know what? Get shot by that first paintball, because once you do, you'll realize it ain't that bad. And as the dude who has a Prince Albert, I'd say you might even be really into it, and you might even be an effective, you know, dude to lead the push. Maybe that's where you'll find your value. Maybe your shot's not that great, but you can draw fire, open things up for teammates. Christian, what do you, Christian, Aaron, what do you think?
I think it never hurts if you're bad at something to laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're getting shot like crazy, just start laughing. Or if you're just not the best person on your team, laugh about it. It's fine.
It's fun at the end of the day. It's not like you're in a tournament. And guess what? Humility is huge trait and undervalued trait. So yeah, I love that, Aaron. All right, dude. It's freaking sick, dude. First Dank Duel, dude. Maybe we'll have to revisit, dude. Yellowstone, Yosemite. Aaron and I were both leaning Yellowstone. No hate on Yosemite. Just two dank things. Which one's a little bit danker? It's for, you know, everyone to decide. And I can't wait to go experience Yellowstone. And maybe I'll get mauled by a moose and it won't be that tight. So we'll figure it out in the future, dude. But for right now, we're going Yellowstone. Any question, comment, suggestions, StriderWilsonTreads@gmail.com. Leave a review. That always helps, dude. Freaking so stoked. Let's, you know, dude, we're all in this together. Let's help people gain some knowledge. Leave those reviews. Help people find the pod, dude. You know, better together, dude. So stay freaking stoked, my dudes, and I'll freaking catch you guys on the freaking next one, dude. All right, dude, lit.